welcome to Ground Pound. I am James Connolly for Mike Davies and Andrew Berger. Let's start off, of course, the Green Bay Packers defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Mike, why don't you start us off with the best play of the game?
When people look back on the Super Bowl, they're going to think of how much Ben Roethlisberger struggled in this game. And obviously the biggest play was Nick Collins getting that 37-yard interception return for a touchdown, because not only did he jump the route, even though the receiver was going way out of the way, this is a terrible pass, but he jumped the route, was able to weave through the blockers, and dove into the end zone in probably what was the best play of the Super Bowl. The last minute of the game, I don't know what they're thinking. It's a 4th and 2, and the Saints have the opportunity. They're trying to go for the win instead of a tying field goal. And what do? They draw them offside. It's the oldest trick in the playbook, trying to draw defense offside. You knew the Saints were going to call a timeout, but one of the defensive linemen jumped offside, and it led to a touchdown to Colston. And then after that, the Bengals were trying to make a statement off a good kickoff return, and they were marching down the field. They only had one timeout left, and someone completed the pass with about 15 seconds left. So instead of calling a timeout, Palmer runs to the line, wastes 10 seconds, realizes that it's taking too long, calls a timeout. You can't put your team in that position because you essentially lost one play by doing that. You could have called a quick timeout, or the player could have gone out of bounds. Just completely wrong of the Bengals to do this in the last minute. They were playing a really good game, and they could have made a really big statement with this game.
Hopefully he'll still be able to put up stats. Patrick Peterson, I think he's going to be a great, whether he's a cover corner or cover safety, he's going to do what he has to do out there in the secondary, and he's going to make an impact like an Ed Reed or a Troy Polamalu would have.
I agree definitely with the Peterson pick. I questioned it at first why the Cardinals want to go for secondary help, just because they have Cromartie, but at the same time, last offseason they lost Antrell Roll to the Giants. So it's kind of one of those teams that, just like the Broncos, you can pretty much draft anyone, and you're building up.
The NFL is a passing league now, and the more corners you have, to cover these wide receivers that more teams are getting. More teams are stacking their wide receivers. The Ravens, the Jets did last year by getting Holmes and Edwards. You need corners to cover these guys and to cover those smaller guys.
I'm gonna give my game ball to Julio Jones, rookie from Alabama, and now he's on the Falcons, dominating. He only had 3 catches, but for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. Really impressive, and this is why they got him. That's why they traded with the Browns to get this pick, because they wanted to get this guy for Matt Ryan, and it's going to be a great combo in the future. But for right now, it's a great job for him. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ground Pound. I'm sitting here with former NFL player Lee Keevan-Smith, defensive lineman. Did you expect to win the game 18-0, and with the way that the team was
I knew we could win the game, and I still feel like we should have won the game. I think it was our game. It was one of those games when people say it's your game to lose. It was our game to lose that year, and I think that was the same thing this year for the team. It was their game to lose, so you have to show up, do everything to the T, dot your I's, and you win. And if you don't handle the adversities in the game, or if someone gets hurt, injuries, or whatever that pop up, that's when you get you get tested a little bit, and that's when you falter. So I felt like we should have won the game. It would have been the fairy tale ending.
Game of the week. Mike, who do you have for this week?
I'm really excited. I said this this morning when I was looking at next week's schedule. Really excited for the Chargers-Bears. I think you got a team, the Bears, that have won their last 4, climbing up, looking good. Cutler not getting sacked as much. Versus you have the Chargers, who are just going downhill fast. I think they've lost like 3 or 4 in a row. So if you have teams like that, it's going to be intriguing. You need the Chargers, like we've said the past 3 weeks. It's a must-win for the Chargers. Okay, team to watch for me. I think, like I mentioned before, Titans, very intriguing, especially against the Broncos. Broncos team not that impressive, but we can see if Matt Hasselbeck is able to lead this Titans team. We'll see if it's actually going to be able to work out.
So interesting to see how Carolina will try to get on winning ways as Cam Newton continues his miraculous year.
Absolutely.
And how about some fantasy football advice before we go to our last commercial break?
Okay, my most important advice would be watch out for them bye weeks, because it's very important that you have as many points as you can possibly have. And also, Victor Cruz, wide receiver for the Giants, is only owned by 34% of leagues, and he's allowed to fumble, and they won't count it. So that's more
well for that reason.